You know what question I wanted to ask you? And I've been wanting to ask you this. I thought about this the other day on the drive home. But I was like, you know what? I'll wait. So the question is, in your opinion, and all right, we're men, so I'll just phrase it like this. Why do you think women cheat?
Why do I think women cheat?
Correct. I wasn't to say people cheat, but then I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Because we're guys, I'll just
say women.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any I don't think it's like a single reason.
You think it's a multitude?
I think it's a multitude of reasons. One main reason I think it's a multitude of reasons because we're all different. We're all people. So yes, they're women, but like they all might do things for a different reason or the other.
Okay.
I think one might be they're not happy with the current dude they're with, so they're essentially trying to monkey branch to another guy.
Okay.
That is one of the reasons I'd say. And though I have never cheated before, nor have I cheated with a girl, yeah, I think I haven't done that. I hope I haven't done that. From my experience, the girls who have tried to get with me that had boyfriends, they would essentially try to do it to monkey
brand?
Yeah.
So they ain't really trying to cheat with you. They trying to like get in a relationship with
essentially.
you.
And it so happens that, you know, you get some pussy
Get some pussy out the equation?
Yeah, at the same time. I think that's one. I think some girls are just hoes and like they just like having multiple dudes. And I also think there are people out there already, just because you asked about women, there are women that actually get turned on by the
I've heard that. They find it like, they find it sexy. It's like a kink.
Yeah, it is. They find the fact that it's wrong and that you're not supposed to do it and you're doing it behind their back and you have to go around sneak and hide. They love that drama aspect of things. So, like I said, I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's just a multitude of reasons why they would cheat. You know, whether it be emotional, they're just not getting dick down like they want to, so they go get it somewhere else. Sometimes it could also be friends' influences, knowing your friends is doing something like that. You might be more willing to do something like that.
Peer pressure is real.
Peer pressure is real. Yeah, I'd say all those things. I'm not sure if you kind of think of it differently or maybe you have a couple different ones that I didn't think of.
I think you hit a lot of them on the head. My main thing is to kind of like consolidate it. What I've kind of thought of is just I believe a woman cheats when essentially she's not getting what she needs. So essentially her needs aren't being filled by the man. And now if you kind of go deeper and break off into that, it kind of goes into what you just said. In terms of the
overall gist of it is needs aren't met.
Needs aren't met.
Yeah.
And that's why women find it. That's why essentially women would cheat. Which I think regardless is messed up, because I just think you should, if you finna cheat, you might as well just end it with the dude.
Yeah, for real.
But everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too.
Of course.
So they would rather cheat, but still keep their man. Still keep their man, because there's a chance that their man is providing something to them. It's not like they provide nothing, but they're providing something to them. That's why they stay. But they would rather, go sleep with another man or spend time with another man. I think it's foul.
I've heard women advocate for you should have a guy for every one, like a different thing. You should have a dude that brings you out on dates to go eat. You should have a.
That's absurd.
They call them an eater. Have you ever heard of that?
An eater?
Yeah, you got to get yourself an eater. So it's like a dude who just eats good pussy.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I heard
you
that.
Gotta get like an eater, a dude who could like lay pipe, actually like give it to you, I guess. A dude who kind of like possibly you can see like a future with, like the main and like
a man.
Yeah, and then like side dudes, like just like F boys that you can kind of just deal with every now and then. Like you're supposed to, according to them, have multiple. Like wow,
having multiple is crazy. Also, having a dude just to take you out to dinner that's absurd.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty interesting things online, man, I tell you.
Women ascribe to this.
Yeah, they do.
You know what's crazy? Why can't you just, I don't know, I guess no man it's probably gonna be great in like all those avenues, but like it's probably better.
That's why they said you need one for each, because no dude is fully perfect where they have everything.
Yeah, but
you're always lacking something.
Yeah, but you ain't never gonna find. I mean, unless you really good at keeping a secret, bro, you finna lose something. Especially the main dude. Whoever that main guy is, you gonna lose him because you got all these other guys.
I will say, and though I don't fully disagree with that, you did tell me a story the other day of a dude whose wife is like.
I understand.
You know, so like, yeah, you are right. And I do believe on average that's not gonna happen, but you get every now and then a weak dude who just take it.
That's
fair, I don't understand why he do it, but he just take it.
Yeah, but any dude with half a brain would understand that you're not getting nothing from this. Like, it's different if he was. I mean, I still think you should still leave. Your wife is cheating on you, but it's a little bit different, I guess, if you are still getting something out the equation compared to you getting nothing out the equation. Like in that scenario I told you, he's getting nothing. To my knowledge, he's getting nothing out the equation. Homie can't even sleep in his own bed. He sleeps on the couch.
That's rough, bro.
And he pays all the bills.
I pay the bills, and I don't even get to sleep in my own bed.
Can't even sleep in your own bed, and you pay all the bills. So in his case, and 9 out of 10, if you sleeping in the couch, you probably ain't getting no pussy.
Yeah, probably not.
So it's like
probably not.
he gets nothing out the equation. Some men still might get a little something. They still might get some type of pussy, but I think regardless, even if you're getting pussy, you still gotta leave that because she has no respect for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to share.
But in terms of, I think the average guy, you just gotta realize, like, bro, what are we doing here? Even if you are still giving me pussy, why am I here?
Yeah. At that point, I'm gonna go get me another girl.
Yeah, bro. I'd rather give me a girl that's actually gonna be loyal and stay down. But hey, I mean, we live in the 21st century, and you know, there are many, many promiscuous women out there. So, and there are many women, and I don't know women who have all of that, like have a eater, have a dude gonna dig her down, have a guy who gonna I don't know any woman who has all of that, but
sure it is.
I do know women who are in a relationship and they still text other dudes.
Yeah.
Still talk to other dudes.
Yep.
They still entertain her. And they in a relationship, not just talking and dating, but like in a relationship, like this is serious, like it's monogamous. Yep. And they still talk to other dudes. But it's the way of the 21st century. It's the way of the world. And it's always.
I also think it's just what's our society's okay with it now. You know, like before it was shamed upon, like legit shamed upon, where you could lose your life if you cheated. You either be stoned or shunned from society. Now it's not really. Like cheating happens so often, we make a TV show out of it, call it Cheaters.
Literally, you bro.
Know, like it's an accepted part of society that it's just gonna happen.
I know we talked about this on the podcast, but there are a lot of in movies they portray a lot of cheating, bro. A lot.
Last semester or the semester before, bro, I was taking architecture and film, and we watched 14 movies. 10 of those movies, women cheated on the men.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, it made me just sitting there. I was like, yo, I feel so disgusted, bro. Why do you have to do this? It is promoted, and you see that. That's the media we watch. So it makes it seem like it's okay to do those things, because all of them got away with it. None of them got caught.
Which is wild.
None of them got any kind of repercussions. The men never left. Like, they just cheated on him.
Kept it pushing.
Kept it pushing. And it's just like, damn, bro.
That's sad.
That is sad.
But
There's a majority of women in that class, too. Makes it worse.
Yeah, they're probably low-key rooting for it. They're like, yo, that other dude, he ain't got nothing. That's so sad, bro.
Yeah, man.
But it's the stuff like that that's portrayed.
Yeah.
You watched, 14 movies, 10 of them cheated. A lot of those movies were probably played in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
So you know how many people, thousands upon thousands, depending on how big the movie, could even be millions, who have seen that movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's to say movies like that haven't shaped...
Hadn't influenced somebody.
And I feel like after having so many movies like that, over and over and over, it starts to shape society. It starts to have an effect.
It's generational, man. It's been happening for long, before me and you.
And sometimes
the movies I watched weren't even in the 2000s.
Oh, they were back
from
then.
Like 19, you know what I'm
Damn,
saying?
yeah.
Like, those were old films. So if they're doing that back then,
I've also noted too, they essentially like romanticize it.
Yeah.
Like they make the cheating almost feel like you kind of root for that relationship.
Yes.
You root for that infidelity.
Yes. They essentially justify it. A lot of the films justify it by the dude who she's cheating on not being, emotionally there for her, or he might work a whole bunch and he can't always be around to, and then the dude who is giving her the attention, he says all the right things, oh, you're so beautiful, you have to, have a man to take care of you, all the BS that they do to justify it.
Yep.
But it's stuff like that. You see it in the media. Over time, you see it enough, it becomes normal, and people don't think cheating is as serious as,
as it is.
As it actually is.
As it is.
Because we downplay it. We make it seem like...
Romanticize it, bro.
Yeah.
You make it seem like a fantasy. You make it seem like it's a fun time. You make it seem exciting.
Yep.
It's thrilling.
Yep.
It's an adrenaline rush.
Exhilarating.
Yep. But one thing that the movies... And it's a movie, so it is what it is. But like the movie isn't reality. So how it plays out in the movie is never how it plays out in real life.
It plays out perfectly in the movie because it's the movie.
Because it's the movie. Someone wrote the script.
Yeah,
they
you
made
get to
sure
determine how the characters react.
Exactly. You can't determine how someone reacts in real life. You think, oh, this person, they gonna react like this.
Yep.
People have killed because of cheating.
Literally. Bro. I remember a story you told me about a police officer.
Up in my hometown.
He shot
a 19-year-old dude because he was sleeping with his wife. Killed him.
Then he killed himself.
Yep.
He
shot the 19-year-old boy who was sleeping with his wife. Then after that, took his own life. Mm-hmm. In the parking lot of a Buffalo Wild Wings. It's crazy, bro. The wife standing there.
Yeah.
Literally, her husband and her
actions.
Mistress or whatever. Sitting there dead.
Well, in this case, mistress is the woman. Lover would just be the...
Oh, yeah. All right, fair enough.
And in this case, she just ruined 2 lives. Her actions ruined both her husband's life, her life, whether or not they got kids.
Ruined 3 lives.
Whether or not they got kids, ruined their lives too.
Yeah. Also ruined the life and the family of the kid.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he probably had a mother, he probably had a father.
Family, the whole shebang.
That's
ain't right, but it's just what we make normal in our society, man. That's why if a woman were to really ever cheat on me, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd just leave her.
You wouldn't be mad?
No, I don't think there's a reason to be mad. No.
Wow. That's very interesting.
The reason I don't, and this is me personally.
That's fair.
I ain't saying everybody else gotta be like this, because I can understand being upset. But cheating happens so often, I expect it. So when it does happen, it's like, all right, well, you kind of just proved my point. I'm just gonna leave. That's really it. I don't see a point in me giving you the control over my emotions and letting you me getting upset over something that I couldn't even control about you in the first place. I can't stop you from cheating. But what I can control is my reaction to you cheating. So why am I gonna get mad, kind of like what that police officer did, either harm you or harm the other person.
Yeah.
When I'm just gonna separate myself from your life.
Just leave,
yeah. That to me is good enough. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna ask you why. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna be sad about it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be happy because I'm no longer with the cheater. I'm like, all right, man, thank you for
letting me know.
Yeah, absolutely. By all means.
You know what? I understand where you're coming from. I respect it. I do respect it. And I understand your point because you are right, kind of off of some of the other points that we made earlier. It's prevalent. Today's day is prevalent, and I mean, it's still one of those things where everyone knows it's bad, but like to a certain extent, it's kind of like accepted. Like people still do it.
The punishment for it is not as harsh as it used to be.
You just lose your partner. That's it.
That's it.
It might be a divorce if you're married and all that other stuff, but other than that,
society's not going to shame you because of it.
Nah.
And back in the day, you'd literally be killed because of it, and that don't happen now either.
No.
So
I would say this. This is just for me. I wouldn't be pleased. I'd still be upset.
Like I said,
now,
it's understandable if you were.
I wouldn't go as far as like. Yes, you could be upset, but I wouldn't go as far as what the other dude. Like, am I going out trying to kill the dude who? Nah, because now you gotta think of the consequences that come with that. He took his life. I mean, that's still a consequence because he took his life. But like, let's say if he didn't take his life, bro, that's murder.
Yeah, that's murder.
That is murder. It don't matter if he cheated. it doesn't matter if she cheated and he was the one who was having sex with your wife. You still have no right to go shoot someone and kill them.
Yeah.
So
it's not. Though the action they did is very disgusting, the reaction is not equal to
nah, bro.
To what
man.
What happened to you.
Nah.
It's kind of like if you were to punch somebody and they shoot you in the chest, regardless of whether or not you attack them first and they're saying self-defense. The self-defense was...
It's unnecessary force.
Yeah, very much unnecessary force.
What are we doing here?
It's like, just punch him back, bro. That's it.
So, a lot of that too, and also, to be honest with you, the problem really isn't him. The problem is your girl.
Yo, exactly. Because he might have not even known.
He might have not even known, because there's a good chance that she would have been like, yo, I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship. They say that, and then you find out.
After the fact.
Yeah, you know, that happened to Shannon Sharp. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
No,
but
I believe so.
He was in a bedroom with a girl, and then the dude came home while he was,
Wow.
So dude was standing there with a gun.
Oh.
And Shannon Sharp was like, listen, bro, I ain't even know.
Damn.
But then he during the time he was playing football, so he was like, yo, you the football player.
Yeah.
And he basically just like, yo, just get out. And then Shannon was like, all right, bro, say less. Yeah. But he was like, yo, I didn't even know, bro.
No.
So, your beef really ain't with the dude who's smashing your wife. Your beef is really with your girl.
At the end of the day, she's the one who trusts. She's the one who said she'd be loyal to you.
Not him.
Nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Especially, all right, if he was like your friend, then that's a little foul. But especially if you don't know the dude, he don't know you.
Yeah, he's a stranger. There's no loyalty.
There's no loyalty
among
there.
men, at least in regard. There's no
loyalty.
There,
At the end of the day, he's trying to find a mate just like you are.
Yeah, we guys. It's just what we do.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to. I'd still be upset, but I wouldn't go as far as I wouldn't kill nobody. I wouldn't really place my hands on nobody. Similar to you, I'd probably leave. A part of me would want to know why. I noticed with you don't really need closure. You're fine just like leave. I'd be liking to know why. I'd be like, yo, why you did this? Like, I want to know. But
I have a feeling it had to do with one time I wanted closure and got it, and it turned out to be much worse than.
Really?
Yeah, and I just like, you know what? It might have been better if I just didn't find out.
So after that, you were like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Trey, like, I don't want to know. I have a question though. You don't think about why, like, your imagination doesn't start to run wild in terms of you now thinking like, what could have caused it, what happened, or not really?
Not anymore. You know, when I was younger, yeah. As I've gotten older, though, a lot of people have come and gone from my life, like a lot. And I've had very close friends in the past, and you know, they've left. And I've had very close friends in the past that like I've separated myself from. And now every time I've been able to, you know, say a goodbye or get some kind of closure or get a reasoning as to why the relationship ended or anything like that. So I think at this point I've just learned to accept it.
It is what it is.
It's just a part of life, and you kind of got to move on. And after years of practicing that, it's just become second nature to me. Like, it's just who I am now. So don't get me wrong, when I was younger, it was very difficult, and I always wanted the answer, and I'm like, but why? But why? And then, you know, one day I asked that, and it hurt so much I didn't ask it anymore.
How we stop saying asked? How we stop asking, but why? You just got to the point where you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Just
You don't gotta like
that.
it, but you gotta accept it.
You don't gotta like it, but you gotta accept it. You are not wrong.
I don't even get to the point where you say your piece. I just accept what you say. As much as it hurt, I get over it eventually. I know that much.
That's true. That is very, very true. You know, I haven't got to that point yet. I still be wanting to know why, but I understand completely where you're coming from. Sometimes it's, you know, I think I'd be more like you if my imagination didn't run. And maybe that would change when I get older, who knows, but a lot of times now I want to know why, because if I don't know why, my imaginations could kind of take over. And now I'm like, well, it could be this reason, or it could be this reason, or it could be this reason, or it could be, you know?
Yeah, but let me ask you, don't you feel as though you can control your mind in that regard? Because I've done that too, but I guess personally, when I catch myself doing that, I'm like, what, does it matter though? If any of those scenarios were to be true, what difference would it make? We're still not, in that virtual life where
Outcome's still the same.
It's still in the same situation. So it's kind of like, what difference does it make if any of those things were true or not true?
I've actually never thought about it like that, to be honest. And yeah, I can control my mind, but I ain't gonna lie to you, at times my mind races.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or sometimes I can only control it for a certain amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
where I'll catch myself and I was like, what, let me go do this, and I'll do something to kind of get it off my mind. But there'll be some times, bro, I lay down and try to go to sleep, and those thoughts kind of come up.
They creep back in.
Yeah, you have to continue being diligent with it. That's the one thing about the mind, especially if it's starting to take over. You just gotta be diligent and continue to make sure that you're on top of it. As soon as you get a bad thought, you find a way to stand. But to be honest, it's hard, and something I still struggle with.
That's fair.
And I don't want to blame it on being young, but I do think that being young plays a part. I think as I continue to go through life, and I'm probably going to continue to go through unfortunate events because that's life, I'll learn more and more. But no, that's fair, man. That is fair.
The reason I am the way I am is just because a lot of people and that's just kind of how life is, man. A lot of people come and go. I've had a decent amount of people, which sucks because Joe is also one of these people, say that, yeah, man, we'll be friends for...
Yeah, you know how many people you be friends for forever?
Forever, man. This is it. Only for that same person to go.
Yeah.
I've had so many girls tell me I love you, only for that not to be the case.
Bruh. Man.
So it's kind of like...
They throw that word around like it's...
Yeah, so it's kind of like, why even... Because of all that, it's just easier for me to just walk away now. So I walked away from people, and so many people walked away from me. It's just kind of like, damn, the people who want to stick around will stick around.
True.
And the people who want to go will go. And I can't really fight for you if you want to go, so there's no amount of closure or wanting of closure that would, bring me to peace. So it's just kind of like, move on. It's the best closure there is.
That's
at least for me personally. I know for others, you really need to get the answer and all that.
Yeah. One thing I have learned, knowing situations I've been through have taught me this. You've taught me this. My father has taught me this. There are some situations you ain't never gonna get closure on.
Yeah, and that's just
you ain't never really gonna get the answer.
You just gotta accept it. Some situations you're never gonna get the answer.
Nope.
Whatever the circumstance may be. And also, there's one thing, you gotta be careful what you're asking sometimes, because you get an answer that
you don't like.
You don't like. And I got an answer I did not like.
Damn. Well, yeah, that's life for you. That was a good little convo. We still got 30 more minutes before we get to Charles.
It's a solid question you asked.
Yeah, it's something I wanted to have a conversation. I felt like we could have made something out of it. But we're going to catch y'all later.